Welcome to another exciting episode of the $1 Million Peddlers. I'm Papergoy.
I'm Mr. Magazine.
Mr. Magazine.
Yep.
I think we start the show the same way every single week, don't we? Once in a while you could step up to the plate, just saying. No, that's not going to happen. How much money do you think a new reseller needs to get started, and what kind of lead time do they need in order for things to sell for them?
Well,
and there's a reason I'm asking this, because I've got some numbers right here.
I'm just guessing. A nice round number would be 5,000.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're talking going serious?
Well,
because obviously you got people that'll sit there and they'll spend $100 and then they'll sell the stuff out for a couple of hundred and keep going.
But if you start with $100 or something like that, I don't feel like you're going to get into it. It'd be very boring. Like, you got to find a few things. So it's a slow process. You're not going to get rich. You're not going to get rich off 5,000. But if you have 5,000 saved from you win a lotto ticket, you get $5,000. Okay, good. I got a nice start out. You can get a lot more buying power. You know what I mean? So you can get more stuff, more opportunity. Where for $100, you probably want to conserve it and not just blow it all at the church sale.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So today. That's why I love this show, because I have no idea what his answer is going to be, so it's kind of interesting. So today is January 1st. Woohoo! Happy New Year. I've got my $5,000 in my pocket. I go to an auction, and I know a little bit about things, so I'm able to purchase. I'm not overpaying for things. Right. So I just spent $5,000 on stuff. When can I expect to get my money back, typically?
Well, it depends. It depends on what you're buying, I guess. If you're buying high-end quality stuff, say... 10 or 100, what would it be? It'd be $150 items. You're going to get it back quicker than if you bought $1,005
items.
Right,
yeah,
exactly. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a problem starting with $100 because let's say
you're either going to buy one good item or you're going to buy 20 small items.
But even if you buy 100 items for $1 and they're worth $5 to $10, you're going to list them, and after a few days, everything's listed.
You're going to have $7 back.
Right, yeah. But it's all listed, then you got no more inventory. So at least this gives you a little backup. And I'm sure you're going to be very frugal in buying quality items as best with your knowledge that you can, and not having death piles like we have at this point in time. But yeah, I would say, and it could be 2,000 you can do that with, but it all depends. But at least if you're going to an auction or an estate sale with $5,000, even if you spend 50 or 100 or 500, you can go to multiples and more of them, roll it all into one big, listing week or something, and have something after that. So.
Well, I have on the sheet of paper some actual numbers, Mr. Magazine.
Okay.
Now, I'm not counting certain things that I bought. I'm not counting anything I bought at Heritage, et cetera, et cetera. I'm just counting things that I bought from like 3 or 4 different sources, a couple of local dealers, a couple of estate sales, et cetera, et cetera. So I have spent $624 this year. So on things that I bought in 2024, I've spent $624. Okay? Mm-hmm. We're doing this essentially February 1st. So in 1 month, I spent $624. I have listed 211 of those items. Now, obviously, I bought more items, and I'm also not counting the things that I sold over on Whatnot. I'm not counting that into this equation. So at this point, I'm roughly $3 an item into stuff. I've got more stuff to list, so on.
Gotcha.
When I've listed, I've also listed things at auction, and I use the schedule. So not all 211 of those items have been offered up for sale, because some of them might be set to list next week, et cetera, et cetera. But I still probably 150 of those, 175 of those are up for sale, or have been up for sale. How many items of those 211, Mr. Magazine, would you guess have sold?
20.
And I have listed or spent $624. How much money do you think I have gotten back, not counting fees, everything, my sales price on those items that I sold?
500.
So, out of the 211 items, I have sold 3. Oh, thank you. 3.
Okay.
And out of the $624 I spent, I have gotten back $62 less fees.
Way off. Either I'm really good with my stuff, or I just don't know how bad your stuff is.
Wow, shots fired.
It's just a reality check, right? You can't change the numbers.
No, these are actually the numbers, right?
Facts
yeah, exactly.
Facts, yeah. Wow.
And I wanted to bring some actual real numbers. Now, obviously, I have sold more than $62. Not this year, but everywhere else this year.
We don't know.
I've sold more because a lot of the things that I've been listing also have been things that I bought in 2023, right near the end. I made a few purchases like the last week of December. That's being listed. That obviously is last year's purchases, not this year's purchases. Sure. And just by virtue of having a long tail store like we have, I've sold things for 2022, 2021, 2012, and so on. So sales have been okay. I cannot argue with sales. Yeah. But yeah, if that were all I were listing, I'd be in trouble. Yes. Having sold 3 items and 211 listed.
Absolutely.
Now, again, I did do a few things over on Whatnot. I've probably gotten $100 back that way as well. Right. Something like that, maybe $125 back that way, something like that. So it's money that I'm not counting into here. Now, obviously, I count the money in for having spent it, but I don't count the money for having listed it as far as that goes. But those are some actual real numbers. Now, I do tend to buy more obscure items. I do tend to buy longer tail items on stuff. Yeah. And also, flea markets haven't started, that kind of thing. I've been kind of at the mercy of what, the dealer had that he sold me. Yeah. One of the deals that I bought was a lot of sheet music and stuff like that. So, that was the end of last year. I bought sheet music songbooks. So I guess buying smart, I guess, is probably the thing we learned today that you absolutely need to do, whether you're starting with $10, $100, $5,000, or $624, whatever dollar amount you're starting at, you want to buy smarter than I bought this year.
Well, I mean, I think you're buying smart because you're still, with your knowledge, you're buying things you can sell at some point. But if it's long tail buying smart, it's not going to show what those numbers are.
Right, not for
definitely that short term,
Not for quite a while. And the way I look at it is if I've listed 211 items at $624, we're at $3 a piece, I probably realistically have picked up 350 items, let's say.
Yeah.
Because I've got more items to list.
Strategically, if you really needed your money back and wanted as much as you could get back, you probably would go through every single item and say, hey, let me pull out the best 50 items. I know they're going to go for, $15 a piece. They're going to sell within a month. Well, that's $750 if you really wanted to. But you're just probably listing.
I just list as I list what I see.
Yeah. Yep. So there's no urgency to get your money.
No.
So, but if you needed to, say, I need to get my money back and roll it into the next deal, there's ways you can manipulate that with pulling out the juice and listing that first. Or pricing. Hey, it's $100 book. I can price it for $70. It'll sell in a week. Now I need, $590 more bucks or whatever.
Right. Well, the other thing, too, is I probably, just from when I've listed them at about $3 an item, I probably have realistically paid about $1.50 per item. Yeah. But the other interesting thing is I've sold the 3 items for $62. So I'm averaging about $20 an item on the sales price of them. Yeah. And that includes, I think one of them sold on Amazon, 2 of them on eBay. So you're sitting there looking at $20 a piece, and I'm paying $1.50 a piece. Right. Long term, that's a winning strategy. Yeah. There's no way around it. I'm on that. But these are again actual numbers. I've been wanting to do this video here just to kind of give you people out there some real numbers as to what I'm spending and what, and again, I'm not counting if I bought original art heritage. That's not counted in here. That's a whole different thing. I'm just saying things that people could do normally. Whether it's an estate sale, I haven't done anything at thrifts, but whether it's a thrift, whether it's a dealer calling me, house call, those kind of deals. And in fact, one of the reasons why that number is so high is because I know I mentioned a while back that a gentleman had sent me a whole bunch of programs.
Okay.
I haven't listed one of those. Or maybe I have. I'm not counting a couple of things I listed over on Etsy either. If something gets listed over on Etsy, I don't keep track of that as well. So realistically, I've probably sold $100 worth of stuff. But still, I certainly have not sold $600 worth of stuff this year.
You should run an experiment with some deal. Say say February this year. Do that same thing. Mm-hmm. Note everything and code it all a certain way.
Right.
Then put in a time capsule for 10 years and see what that $500 gets you back 10 years from now.
Well, I do that per the year. I can tell you what I spent at estate sales in 2019, and I can tell you how much I got back from the estate sales in 19 and 20 and 21 and 22 and 23. and so far in 24. So I do keep track of that, and one of these days I'm going to bring those kind of numbers to you as well. And I'm just make sure you have a couple of energy drinks before I do that show. But hopefully that helps you a little bit over there. I know a lot of people talk about, oh, you got to flip stuff fast. There's nothing wrong with doing that. It's a great business model, and part of my business at this point, thanks to Whatnot, is doing it that way.
Yeah.
But the other part of it, of course, is the slow list, and I've got 208 items listed on eBay out of those 211 because the 3 have sold. Right. I have 208 items listed. I'll be making sales off that in 5 years, and 7 years, and 8 years. And I'll be like, oh yeah. We'll reflect back in this video, and I'll be like, hey, do you remember what I told you? Something just sold out of that deal. And you'll be like, oh geez, still keeping track of that, huh?
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm at $3,212 back off of that.
Yeah, not bad.
But hey, it ends up happening. So hopefully that helps you a little bit. Do hit the like button if you could, and we will see you next video.
Take care. Bye-bye.